The following program contains adult language and juvenile conversations. Listener discretion is advised.
You know what? There's an old Klingon saying that says revenge is a dish best served cold. And cold chicken will be served at some point. Who knows when? It's wintertime. So the chicken will be cold. And I'm cold. But we're going to warm things up. Welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Welcome all you little zombies. You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 392 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most dangerous podcast and is recorded in front of an undead studio audience here at Castle Wolfenstein and also at the Lair of Lost Swag within the Raven Chateau. We discuss at least one film a week. We argue, we make fun of each other, and apparently the chickens have come home to roost.
MZ has choked his last chicken.
Oh, no, I haven't. Oh, no, I haven't.
So
You should've seen
MZ,
me
you're
go.
alive. You're alive. You're here. You're there in studio. Not here. You're there.
Yes, I'm sure I've disappointed a few people, but I'm sure I've
Well, the people who had you in the Trick or Treat Radio death pool,
yeah.
they're pissed.
You haven't got me yet, you bastards. But yeah, I'm back, and it was a sketchy situation last week.
Sketchy.
Yeah, let me lay it out for you what happened. Okay, we'll just jump right into it. Okay, so I'm at home, and busy day at work. I had to drop off my car because I'm getting brakes fixed on it. So my mother picks me up, so we drive back to her place, drop her off, I grab her car, and then I drive home. So after all that, I come home, and we're having supper. We're having
Chicken.
what are we having? We're having yeah, I know that.
Oh, okay.
We're having
Squash.
No, fuck you and your squash. That's an old joke, all right? Jesus. God, he's got a one-track mind.
Says the guy with a one-track mind.
Yeah, well, hey, what do you want from me? I almost died last week, you fuck. Chicken with pasta. Okay. And so, I'm eating, regularly, and next thing I know, there's this piece that's lodged in my throat. Apparently, it got stuck in my throat. Now, this has been happening to me a lot lately. I don't know why, but food has been getting stuck in that same spot. And usually, just, muscles or just drinking something or trying to, force myself to puke would dislodge it.
All completely normal things.
Yes. Well, come on. What do you want from me?
Chewing your food. I want you to chew your food.
No, I did chew my food. This one particular piece just happened to get through me. I just didn't know it was going to happen.
You got past all your defenses.
So normally after a couple of minutes, it gets dislodged and I'm fine. Well, here we are, 13, 15 minutes later, and it's still stuck. So my girlfriend's like, okay, let's go to the hospital. I'm not going to the fucking hospital. And at this point, I'm spitting up blood. Okay.
Jesus Christ. Spitting up blood?
I'm fucking blood, dude. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to resent doing this. I'm going to hate doing this, but okay, let's go. So we go. We hit, what do we hit first? We hit
KFC.
No. Now, bear in mind.
Got a famous bowl.
I got a bastard. I got
art radishes.
Then we went
all
to
right,
Hot Dog Annie's.
The piece that's stuck in my throat. There's a piece that's stuck in my esophagus, but I could still talk. I could still breathe.
Right.
It's just very, very, very bothersome.
Did you know it was food stuck?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay.
And so we drive over to UMass, and UMass, the waiting room was crowded. I'm talking like there had to have been at least 70 people in that room.
Why don't you go to Ready Med?
Why don't you shut up? so we go in, and they say there's a 9-hour wait, and we're like, fuck yeah. And we're like, fuck that noise. So we take off and we head down the street to Memorial.
I could see MZ saying that with a chicken lodged in his throat. Fuck that noise.
I did say that. I didn't give a shit who was around me. So we drive to Memorial. And we go in, and there's one person in the waiting room.
Jesus,
so we're thinking,
wow.
hey, we're golden. So we go in, we give our information, we sit down. Next thing I know, about 5 or 6 more groups of people start coming in.
Yeah.
Because I guess they went to UMass as well, and they couldn't get in. They said, fuck that noise, 9 hours, kiss my ass. So they went to Memorial. They took me in about 10 minutes after we signed in. Answered a bunch of stupid fucking questions that amounted to absolutely nothing, except I got a piece of chicken stuck in my throat and I need to get it out. And so they have me sitting in a room for a couple of hours, answering questions, and they thought, okay, we'll try drinking this
How
water.
big are your balls? Was that one of the questions?
Drink this
Like
water.
September 17th.
This water. I keep on spitting up the water. Now, bear in mind, because I can't swallow, that means I have to keep bringing up spit. And now at this point, I got a big bag of spit that you could pretty much fill a water balloon with.
Jesus.
All right. And so, there's like, try drinking water, and it's not getting dislodged. Hopefully it will get dislodged. It never did. So next thing you know, they said, try, we'll give you Coca-Cola, because the carbonation just might dislodge the, and that wasn't helping. I just kept on spitting up. And next thing you know, I have a bag full of phlegm that kind of looks like what could be pumped out of Raven Shadow's lungs. And so after all that, they set me down. They say, okay, we're going to do an endoscopy on you. And so I'm like, because they wheel in this fucking machine that looks like it cost about maybe $200,000 to purchase. Okay, you could buy a house with this goddamn thing. All right, and I'm thinking, oh Christ, my fucking insurance better cover a lot of this. So they told me what they're going to do. They put this this brace in my mouth that keeps my mouth open while they jam a tube down my throat. And with that is a camera, because they bring in this nice widescreen TV, this flat screen TV, okay, probably with 4K resolution. And so they said we're going to put you to sleep, mild sedative, and you'll be out of it, no problem. So they start, after about a half an hour, and I got an audience at this time, okay, because there's like a lot of students in there. And bear in mind, this is like at midnight. So I got a bunch of students. I can't understand why.
The midnight show.
Yeah, right? And there's like maybe 7 or 8 people in there, including the doctor. So the doctor dopes me up, and next thing I know, I start falling asleep. And then they start putting the tube down my throat. Well, then I wake back up because not only am I choking on the chicken that's in my throat, I'm also choking on my phlegm, and I also got this goddamn tube being shoved down my throat. So I snap out of it.
Wait, they're shoving tubey down your throat?
No.
You've been doing that to yourself for years.
Yeah.
Watch some more free movies.
Yeah.
You know my commercials, do you?
And so they dope me up some more, and they rest me, and they just, next thing I know, I wake up and my throat is clear, and next thing I know, I'm fine. Not coughing up any more blood or anything like that. At the very least, I hoped that they knocked it down. They dislodged it down to my stomach rather than pulling it out of my throat.
Because you don't want to waste perfectly good chicken.
Well, that's my thing. I'm like,
man, I'm hungry.
I'm like, well, shit. I went through torture and hell for this because of this one piece of food. I better have eaten it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I went through fucking hell with this for 5 hours.
Jesus Christ.
So by that time, my throat was very, very swollen, very, very sore. I couldn't talk. It was just very painful to do anything, eating, drinking. It was just madness, and that's why I couldn't show up last week, because I just could not. My throat was just so goddamn sore.
So actually, Mary in the chat room says, and I was wondering this too. At any point, did anyone offer the Heimlich maneuver? Like, did they try to?
I did. Yes. At the when it was mentioned about the hospital, I said, "Give me the Heimlich maneuver," and she's like, "No,
That's free.
No.
no." Now bear in mind, just recently I signed off my life insurance to her, so there might be something to this. Who knows?
Oh, your girlfriend said no.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying the doctor said no.
No. This was still at home, and
She said no.
She said no because she didn't want to break my ribs, and I'm like, I'm not going to sue you.
She's not going to break your
sue
ribs.
you.
It's CPR. You break the ribs, not the Heimlich.
She's not going to break your
I'm
ribs.
not gonna sue you if you do. I mean,
That's almost like they were like Aries not saving us if a Bigfoot shows up in the house and him making a run for it. Like, she wouldn't give you the Heimlich maneuver?
No.
She couldn't Google a video?
Well, it's not a question of knowing how. She didn't want to.
I mean, I could have done it myself, but there was really no place to do it. I mean,
Back of a chair.
Yeah, back of a chair.
Yeah, do it yourself.
no, I suppose, yeah. Well, all our chairs are rounded.
It doesn't matter. It just needs to be able to get pushed into your stomach.
Oh.
Then you can break your own ribs.
Yeah,
Keep that in mind for next time.
I will.
Not
I will.
if, when it happens to you.
Yes.
Again.
Yeah. Well, you seem to be the one of many who keeps on making that joke about me not being able to chew my food.
And what gave it away? You medical
Well, what the hell? Well, what the hell?
Yeah, what gave it away?
Well, what the hell? I choke on food this one time where it lands me in the hospital, and people think I'm some sort of an invalid.
Well, because you didn't say this one time you choked. It's the one time you choked and ended up in the hospital.
That's what I said.
Yeah. You're talking about how you have other remedies for when you choke.
Yeah.
You know how many times I've choked? Like none. I've never had to give myself a self-remedy for choking.
You keep on talking, and you're going to start choking pretty soon. Wrap my hands around your goddamn throat.
Oh, I want to see this.
Somebody call urgent care. Get table ready.
Someone got a little cocky.
Yeah. Hey, Raven Shadow, do me a favor. Pick up his beard. Will you?
I ain't fucking with that. He likes me this week.
Yeah, let's book
So,
the ER appointment right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the whole thing started like around maybe 7 o'clock. I didn't get home till around 1. And I was just flat out beat, exhausted. It was just fucking torture.
And I'm not busting your balls though, but why didn't you go to MediRed?
Why
didn't you do like a ready med, like the one in Shrewsbury or the one in Auburn?
Yeah, but he eventually got in 10 minutes when he went to the second place.
Yeah.
So what's the big deal?
That's pretty good. Oh, fair.
Yeah. I mean, the important thing is that I got in. I wasn't even thinking of Ready Med because I never think of those. I mean, I've been to those places once.
Yeah.
And they're questionable at best.
They can do certain things, but if it's a life-threatening thing with choking would be, you go to the hospital.
Yeah. I wasn't going to fuck around with some rinky-dink doctor.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, I wasn't going to Dr. Nick, okay?
Yeah. Oh, I'm Master Zero. Have a hot dog. You'll feel better.
So, anyway, that's what happened to me. And, so I choked my chicken. And, yes, more jokes will ensue.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we're sorry about that. But
No, you're not.
now,
No, you're not.
was a fork involved or was it off the bone? Like, take us through it. Take us how.
Well, it was
was
a boneless cube of chicken. Oh, and that's the other thing. You know how when you cut up these, cubes, they're not exactly cubes, they're like rectangular or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the reason why it was stuck. And they told me about this. The reason why it was stuck is because it was sideways. It was like lengthwise.
Is that how you like to take it, lengthwise? That's how you like your chicken?
It's like eating banana the long way.
Banana fingers.
Yeah. So that's the reason why, is because it was stuck lengthwise in my throat. That's why I couldn't get it out.
Now, and once again, I'm not giving you a hard time, but where'd the blood come from? Like, how did that happen?
Well, the chicken
It was
was
a blood pack in his
uh,
for added effect.
the chicken was stuck in the center of my esophagus, like right here. Okay.
Oh, so it wasn't in your throat.
Where the breastbone is, right? But the pain was coming from the side right here. So I think I was just using the muscles too much, and it got to the point where they started to rupture. And that's when I started spitting up blood. I think. I mean, that's the only
Your
explanation
muscles rupturing? I don't know.
I
I don't know if you understand how the body works.
Whatever it was, all I know is that the chicken was stuck in my throat, down near my breastbone, on the right side of my throat.
Yeah.
It was getting very, very, very painful.
Okay.
And next thing you know, I'm spitting up blood.
Which is scary too. So you freaking now you only have that, you have that feeling. I mean, and once again, we did make fun of you a lot.
Hey, I don't care. I heard the show.
And I had private conversations with some people about it as well. But no, I'm very glad you're okay. But that is scary though, because I can't take pills like I used to. I used to be really good at fucking.
Boy, that's gonna be a real
pills.
bummer on your Saturday nights.
Yeah, well, my Thursdays too. Gonna be taking, but it's that feeling if it's caught in your throat. That's a scary fucking, feeling.
Well, I couldn't eat anything for the longest time after that because my throat was so swollen.
Yeah.
Because if I was to eat with a swollen throat, I would just choke some more.
But it's gonna be a weird feeling to be that weird limbo where it's gonna be scary, right? So that's gonna fucking make you tense.
Well, it wasn't. It wasn't really scary. It was more annoying than anything because I could breathe, I could talk, I could drive. But
Did you drive yourself to the hospital?
yes, I did.
Holy fuck yeah!
That's amazing.
And the lady was riding shotgun.
Yes, she was.
You're dying.
Why are you going this way? It's faster. Take the other left, dummy.
No, but I mean, I drove. I mean, I didn't need an ambulance.
Yeah.
You know.
You go to Walmart beforehand?
Take some selfies.
No, I didn't go to Walmart beforehand.
I want some drapes.
Feeling cute, choking on a chicken. Figure I'd post a pic. Might delete later.
Yeah. Believe me, I wasn't feeling cute. you saw that picture of me. I look like death warmed over.
Yeah.
I thought you looked normal, just in a white shirt.
Yeah, and the time with the soda was really, really bad because it was like the doctor says pound it down like it was your old high school college days.
What the?
You're like, what?
Oh.
Yeah.
He should have said pound it down like you're watching a double feature of horror movies on Friday night and you're eating chips and cheese.
All right, picture this. You're 17, you're alone.
You're watching Evil Dead 2 for the 14th time of this day.
Yep.
You just had a Slim Jim. You're eating chips and cheese sauce.
But yeah, and he's like, "Don't worry if you make a mess. Don't worry. We got people that'll clean that up for you." So I pounded down
shit my
soda.
pants.
He brings in a couple of those little mini sodas. I think they're like 10 ounces or whatever they are. So he brings in a couple of those. I tried pounding it down, and it just kept on coming up.
Jesus.
Oh, my God. I look like Triple H. You should have seen me. Yeah. Yeah. Then I gave the crotch chop to the doctor.
Fuck it, Doc. Fuck it.
I got 2 words for you. High deductible.
No, but thanks to the quick and to the quick mind of Dr. Kim, I was able to survive. And
Quick? It doesn't sound quick. Nothing about this sounds quick.
5 hours.
I know, but I mean, what do you want from me? I mean, I was delusional at the time.
Was it Doctor? It Doctor? You sure it wasn't Dr. Taz? Survive if I let you. And he suplexed the chicken out of you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if he gave me a German waistlock, it might have dislodged.
I'm
That's
just
what
saying that
How great would that have been? He would have given me a German waistlock, and when I land, the damn thing would fly right out of my mouth.
that's what I would have done to you. Seriously, MZ, I would have given you a fucking German suplex.
you probably could have drove to Johnny's house. He would have fucking give you a
Yeah, 6
right?
hours. 6 hours. Yeah.
You could have just come down the hill to me.
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Here, just give me a quick punch in the stomach, will you?
And he would do
He
that.
would.
Oh, I
He
would.
would.
I would, for you, I would do that.
So I gotta see the doctor again sometime early March. So that's the story of what happened to me last week.
So he didn't say no more chicken or anything like that. Chew your food. Give you any advice?
Well, everybody's given the same damn advice. Chew your fucking food.
Well, you know what?
No shit.
Yeah, well, they're pulling out a cube of chicken. You obviously didn't chew it.
Yeah, it happens to people.
It does not.
It
It
does.
does not.
Well, then, would you consider me a reasonable eater as far as chewing my food is concerned?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Well, because I mean, how many cubes are you shoving in your mouth that you're missing chewing one of them?
No. It's pieces of it's pieces of chicken mixed in with
Pasta.
with pasta with spaghetti pasta.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how much of that are you shoving in your mouth that you're missing cubes of it?
I don't know. All I know is that it got by me somehow.
I mean, I would figure you'd throw a
I
little
do
pasta
that.
on the fork, eat it, piece of
That's
one
that's
cube
what I
of
was
chicken,
doing. That's
Well,
what I was
put it in your
doing.
mouth and chew it.
Were you having a
That's-
contest with your hands up behind your back?
No, nothing like that.
Like,
No. It was just a freak thing.
How big are your forks? Like Pee Wee Herman size?
Oh no! No. I don't have the Pee Wee Herman size forks. I got myself the modest fork that's like about maybe this big.
whoa, that's a big fucking fork.
No, it's not a big fucking fork.
It probably
think
took
if
too
I
much food on it. You need a smaller
Yeah.
fork.
Her fork is like this, okay?
That's a fucking
My
kebab,
fork is
sir.
like this.
Kebab.
That's bigger than my comb, dude.
Is that
What the
because you
fuck?
bit off the end of it?
No, dick.
You clearly bit off more than you could chew.
Look, the point is that I chew my food. It was
Poorly.
just a freak. It was a freak accident that this happened. Okay, plain and simple. Nothing more than that. Freak accidents. Like my chicken in your birth.
All right, let's talk about some things because I'm being approached in public. I really am. There are people who are calling me out about your
Calling you out.
Why
you
are they
call-
calling you out? They could call me out. I'm around.
No,
I
call me out.
lived.
Give him his number.
Yeah.
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 Right, we have it's we witness.
I'm on
Yeah.
Facebook.
I'm like, I ain't this
Shit.
fucking
In fact, he's
dietitian.
probably on it right this moment.
Yeah, but I mean, you have a hard time sometimes with things. Like you had the freak chicken thing.
That was last week.
Right, the chicken thing, the spider bite, the pass out while your own joke.
Mhm.
I mean, a lot of things happen to you.
No, and you know what?
People are getting concerned.
A lot of people started making.
My mom called.
Yeah,
Your
she
mom
wanted to
listens to the show?
No, but
Oh, yeah.
I
You better not.
you better not.
No, and and everyone's, especially you guys, made the ironic musing about how the San Diego chicken has gotten his revenge towards me. And I'm just here to say that he failed in his endeavor of trying to get rid of me once and for all. That will not happen. I will destroy the San Diego chicken before I am through.
He may not have been trying to get rid of you. He may have just been sending you a message.
Yes, I
Yep.
think that's what it was.
Because
Yeah.
because the chicken lodged below your esophagus, so you
Ah.
can still breathe.
So a shot above the bow.
Yeah, just a little one shot.
Shot across the bow.
Yeah.
But but MZ might be like Rasputin. Maybe you can't kill him. Like he's not a lot of things.
Wow.
No, we're all happy. We'd bust your balls, and we will
Yeah.
probably for a long more time.
You know what? If you didn't, I would be very
Yeah, because it
concerned.
takes a lot to bust his balls.
They're fucking
Mike.
I had that
Need a
conversation.
fucking
on
nutcracker.
Yeah. I was telling Marion, his balls are so big. Like, how do you know that? I'm like, I don't want to fucking talk about it.
Evil Corny wants to know if you eat with a serving fork. And
What am I, Andre the Giant?
yes, Mars is in the chat room. He says, of all the questions I thought someone would ask when I woke up today, I think was the question that Raven Shadow asked you a few minutes ago. And Mars also said that Wolfie saved me from choking once. I think I told you guys the story over the weekend.
We did.
I did have to give the Heimlich maneuver to Mars once.
The Heinrich?
The Heinrich.
Heinrich.
The Heinrich. Yes, the Heinrich maneuver. I'll tell. I might have even told this on the show before. I don't remember. But anyways, we went to a wrestling show and we stopped off. I don't know. Might have been a Chili's or a Crapplebee's or something like that. And anyways, we had to drive home ahead of us a few hours, so we wanted to get some food. And Mars was eating a burger, and I looked over, and he was like white, and he was like like coughing, and like I think he was like hitting his hand on like the table, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I've never done the Heimlich maneuver ever, and I was just like instinctively like, what the fuck? Like, I don't remember how it went down. Like, I don't remember all the details. I just remember like getting behind him and like, taking my gave him a German waist lock, put it up near his chest, and like just did the maneuver, and then sure enough came flying out. So I've thankfully have never had to do it again. I hope I never ever have to. But that was pretty fucking crazy.
That is scary though.
Very scary. Yeah.
It's scary, dude. That's fucking scary.
So I can show girlfriend Zero how to do it, MZ.
Okay. It would be scary for Dynamo because he couldn't breathe. I could breathe.
True, yeah.
I could breathe, I could talk, and I could drive.
And in all honesty, the Heimlich maneuver probably wouldn't have helped you with how deep it was.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's what you know what? After a while, I was thinking that the same thing because it must have been just hanging on. It just was not leaving.
Did you think about eating more?
Just to shove it down.
Yeah.
Like the whole vending machine thing. Something gets hung up, you buy something else.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. I didn't want to risk that. I wasn't going to.
You should just got
your mind.
You should have got a plunger and put it on your mouth.
Well, like the Three Stooges.
That would have worked. It would save you some money.
That would have been gross.
But when that machine came in, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
That's not. That's not cheap, right?
No.
They don't do that for free.
That's not normally what they use it for, right? Isn't it just to what is it, an endoscopy? Isn't that they usually just put a camera down there and like look at what's going on?
I think they use a different tube. Like they might switch it out for mouth and ass.
Yeah, it's like action figures. You have different accessories you can put on. You put on the anus one, and you put on the.
And they had this little vacuum for me to suck up all my spit because it was just piling on and piling on. We had to bag it and rebag it because it was just getting crazy.
It must be lovely.
You gonna throw up?
No. Unlike you, when I burp, I cover my mouth so I don't do it into the microphone.
Oh.
Yes, I'm civilized.
Okay.
I drink with my pinky out.
Okay, Mountain Man.
You just see him eat.
And Corny says, I'm choking on Beyond Meat laughing at the story. See, Corny's eating plant-based meat, so he's not going to choke on that.
Yeah. Yes, because that'll just simply dissolve or something like that. I don't know. Who the hell knows? But anyway, that's what happened to me last week. So,
wow. Well, we're glad you're alive, MZ.
The comical misadventures of Monster Zero continue.
So we did. I did get together with the guys this past weekend, and we recorded a couple Patreon shows. So we're excited about getting those out the door. We did another film commentary, and we also did we just had a discussion show where we talked about the, I guess, films of the last decade. We had some lists. We kind of talked about some other ones, and then we got into like a kind of a discussion about cult cinema, what makes a cult film, and is it possible for films to be cult nowadays still? So it was a pretty cool discussion, but those two will be coming out. I'm not sure in which order. I think it'll be the film commentary first. One will be coming out in me see, in a couple days. Yeah, right around the 1st of the month, and then we'll get the other one out at the beginning of March. So looking forward to you getting those in your hands. If you guys want to check them out and you're not already a Patreon supporter, head on over to patreon.com/trickortreatradio, and you can sign up for as little as $2 to help support the show. If you guys want that special audio commentary, that audio exclusives, that'll be $5 a month for you, and we hook you up and give you some content. Mar says, you made me laugh, and for some reason they had cut the burger patty in half, and half the burger patty got sucked down my throat. Jesus. So I guess I was partially responsible.
Go, Tony.
Yeah, angel of death over here.
Angel
at least I gave him the Heimlich maneuver.
Yeah, I was like, baby, you want to give me the Heimlich maneuver? Not really.
Not really.
Not really.
I just had my nails done. I don't feel like
It's kind of fucked up, though, dude.
And you're looking all. Oh.
You're so gross.
you showered today.
You got to finish it? I worked on that all day.
Funny, you smell like pizza, but you didn't have any pizza.
What the fuck?
I don't know what that means.
Is this some
Wow.
inside
Can I
joke?
just add? Can I just add one more thing? It has nothing to do with
Yes.
what happened this week. Well, in a way, it does, because I just want to give a small shout to what I think about the movie that you guys reviewed last week, just to get it off, just to get it out of my system.
All right. I'm pissed at you because you choked on chicken and we couldn't talk about the fucking movie.
Wow!
You just fuck it up, though.
Yeah. Well, I pick my moments.
All right, go ahead. So last week
So
we did Dr. Sleep, and MZ. I was actually really looking forward to talking with him about it because he and I both share a love of The Shining, and we did see The Shining in theater together, didn't we? Was that? We went to that Stanley Kubrick.
No, we went to a Kubrick Film Festival a bunch of years
it was
ago.
Clockwork
but
Orange in 2001. That's right.
Yeah, not The Shining though, unfortunately.
Okay, so
Not,
we didn't.
Unfortunately, geez.
Yeah, but we're both big fans of that, so I was actually really looking forward to talking with you about Dr. Sleep. But go ahead, MZ. What'd you think?
Well, I'll just make it short and sweet. I thought it was a really, really, really well done film. One of the better Stephen King sequels, and I think the fact that he wrote that, really helps that out a bunch,
But was that his first sequel that he wrote? That he wrote,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because Carrie 2, he didn't do. Pet Sematary 2, he had nothing to do with. No. Whatever else was there. Let's see. Cujo, Mist. There was no sequels for that. Needful Things. I don't know. Yeah, I think. Dr. Sleep is the only sequel that he
did.
Yeah, and I thought it was really well done. I thought the guy who played Danny Torrance was really well done. The about how he's trying to cope, although trying to cope with his abilities, and you see him down on his luck, and then after being in support groups, he's starting to rebuild himself back up into a useful member of society. Just to make it short here, I thought those that were playing the original characters, the Halloran, Wendy, Danny, I thought they were all really well done. Particularly the guy who played Halloran, Scatman Crothers.
Yeah.
I thought he was really, really good, top notch good. I mean, he even sounded like him a bit. And you get the final showdown at the Overlook Hotel, which is real. They did a very admirable job recreating those sets. I think they did a very good job. I think they took a lot of time and imagination in making sure that those sets look about as true to the original as possible. The whole movie has a certain tone to it that I have not seen in another movie ever. The entire ambiance and the tone of the film is just so out there, and it's so separate from The Shining, but yet it feels so with the idea of how The Shining was when that first came out in 1980. Just the ambiance and the tone of the film, just really, I love that. It was subtle, it was downplayed, and it picked up when it had to, but it still stayed within that realm of weirdness, that I really, really dug. So yeah, that was a great film. That was a definite treat for me. I loved it.
It's funny. Maybe we didn't really touch upon it, but I wonder how much of King put. And once again, I do want to read the book, or at least hear the audio book, but of the recovery of Danny Torrance to King's own struggles with stuff.
I'm sure there's definitely got to be at least writing from experience,
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, sure. Wouldn't surprise me.
So, all right. Well, I'm glad you dug it, MZ, and glad you're able to give your thoughts. But this week, we're going to be talking about a film called The Wave. And this one sort of like fell into our lap because we were originally going to do Color Out of Space, we had mentioned on last week's show. But it looks like the theatrical run is doing fairly good for Color Out of Space. And it originally was slated to come out on January 24th on VOD. But that has now changed, and it got pushed back a month. So it is now coming out, I think it's February 24th or 25th, somewhere around there. So unfortunately, it got pushed back, and we wanted you guys to be able to play along at home so you can, I don't want to talk about a movie that not many other people have seen. We do it on rare occasions, but in this case, I'd rather hold off on that. So I wanted to hold off, so we decided to call an audible. And The Wave was an interesting flick from Epic Pictures that I had been kind of kicking around, was interested in seeing, and we ended up going with that one. It stars Justin Long. You're a big fan of the Justin Long, aren't you, Raven Shadow?
I enjoy him fine.
Oh, you're not a big fan?
I wouldn't say big fan, but no, I think he's fine. I like him.
I like him. I don't.
I mean, I'm not. I don't know if I'd wear a T-shirt, but I mean, like, if he was a band, I probably would have a couple of Justin Long songs on my iPod.
All right.
They wouldn't have the full album.
Fair enough.
I don't know. That's just
It's a compliment.
a Raven Shadow compliment, which is, I don't know.
Yeah.
Ass backwards.
I have an SPGB song on my iPod.
What song?
The good one.
Yeah.
The good one. It was funny. Raven Shadow was telling a story the other day about CBGB, and he accidentally said SPGB.
It's true. Yeah, the look is like, I said the wrong thing. Yeah.
So.
Oh, it was. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So this weekend, this past weekend, I did sort of a whirlwind trip, and went up to the homeland and stayed at the Raven Chateau, and I had a bunch of errands to run, but we did manage to find some time to hang out. We watched some AEW, Raven Shadow.
Oh man, we watched so much wrestling this weekend.
Yeah, we did actually, and then we did a run in at the Royal Rumble, and we surprised Bill by Force. He wasn't expecting us. We were like the late entrance, like the number 29 and 30 entrance into the Rumble. No one expected.
Oh, it was a big pop. It was a big pop.
Yeah. Although the dirt sheets got a little inside information as we walked on the porch. He saw us.
It's true. I don't know how they spotted us.
Yeah.
It's like, it's Raven Shadow and Johnny. Oh,
yeah.
fuck.
And but we did get so it was cool. We got to hang out with Bill and Travis and Erica and Mike, and also our pal Anthony.
Oh, pal.
And so it was did I say Travis? Little Travis?
Little Travis so little anymore.
No,
Dude's
he's not so little.
I like that he has Bill's haircut.
I know. He wears it better though.
Yes, fair.
No offense.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good time, and it was great hanging out with everyone there and getting to see the Rumble. And we got an updated Down Boys picture taken, Raven Shadow.
I know. I'm excited for the new T-shirt to be on the shop zone.
And it was very meta because you were wearing your Down Boys shirt from the last time.
See,
in the
and
picture.
I was getting some Down Boys comeuppance, much like Monster Zero when he finally can eat chicken again. Because the last time I wore that shirt was I had getting ready to leave the house, all excited, and then I had some water boil troubles, water tank issues, and I couldn't go, and I very dejected took my Down Boys T-shirt off. I'm like, man, I'm not going. I'm not wearing a T-shirt. But it was very nice, and Bill had a famous spread that was second only to a Jarrett Blankhorn film production set. It was very nice.
Yeah, you really enjoyed that spread.
Oh man, there was the buffalo
Chicken.
I
Should have gone MC. Chicken.
Yeah, you could. I defeated it, and it was like a Heartstopper calzone. Johnny, you would have loved it back in '98.
Yeah.
But it was very nice, and Bill was very nice, and Anthony was always nice, and it was a good time, and one of the better Rumbles in recent years.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, except for Brock Lesnar being in the ring for like 30 minutes.
His special was up the entire time.
Yeah. So no, it was a good time though, and I'm trying to think, was there anything else? And so we recorded a couple Patreons, as I mentioned earlier, and
we watched the movie. We watched the or Predator. I'm not sure which one it is.
Predator.
Just Predator.
The Predator. I don't remember. The Shane Black one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what did you think, Raven Channel?
I thought it was fine. Once again, I mean, it was the best Predator since Predator 2.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is that fair to say?
That's fair.
I couldn't get. I'm a huge Predator mark. I read a lot of the comics too back in the day, the Dark Horse books. I was a huge mark for all the early Predator, Terminator, and Aliens books that Dark Horse did when they were coming up. I couldn't get behind Aliens Versus because I thought that was kind of whack. It was PG-13. I didn't see the sequel, and the Robert Rodriguez ones I didn't see either. With what's his face?
Well, Rodriguez didn't direct it; he produced it.
Okay, really? All right, he produced it.
And I think that was called Predators, if I'm not mistaken.
With Adrian Brody, right?
Yeah. And Larry Fishburne was in it as well.
Larry Fish, nice. But no, I like that Shane Black was he Hawkins in the first movie, which was cool. And it was fun. Unlike the helicopter scene where we introduce all the characters in the real Predator, we meet a lot of our characters in like a bus, like a psychiatric, like all like shell shock patients with PSTD. And like the fact that Thomas Jane had Tourette's.
Did you say PSTD?
Yeah, PSTD. PSTD. What is it? PTSD?
PTSD.
It's fucking shell shock, right? Let's call it what it is.
You have a real fucking problem with calling things something different.
I defer to George Carlin's famous bit.
As was pointed out a couple weeks ago when we were talking about gaslighting, it's really manipulation. What do we call it? Manipulation?
All right. Well, once again, I'm sorry, Josh. I didn't see the fucking 1944 fucking picture in black and white. I wasn't fucking born yet, and my grandfather was fighting Nazis when that came out, so I'm sorry about that.
Jesus. What does that have to do with you not knowing?
I'm just saying, it's not like, dude, you didn't see the fucking 1944 classic Gaslight. No, I didn't, okay? It wasn't on Channel 56 on the fucking movie lawn. All right, I'm sorry. I was too busy watching fucking Giant Dangerously and Weird Science for the 10th time.
Don't talk shit about Josh.
No, I love Josh, but I think it was
he'll kick your ass.
Well, yeah, you know.
And everyone will let him kick your ass too.
Well, I'm overdue. You want? He's good ass kicking.
Aries can help you out.
No, Aries would hold me.
Hold you?
Yeah.
Hold you close? Is that what you mean?
You wouldn't hurt me. I think so. I don't think he would. I'm pretty sure he would.
I'm sure there are certain instances in which he would hurt you.
I'm not saying there weren't times back in the day.
Yeah.
I think Eric likes me very much. But it was fun to have you in town. It was nice. You are a fantastic house guest.
Thank you.
You're very accessible, very contained.
You're a very good host,
Thank you.
except for the smoking part. But hey, that's fine. You smoke downstairs. I know.
In smoke rises.
Well, so does the Phoenix. Okay.
Is Phoenix downstairs? Is there a Phoenix downstairs? No. Shut the fuck up. Smoke rises. You can smell it upstairs.
There's a lot of shit. Okay, but no, I had some candles going. We had some incense.
Yeah, you did. It was
I
nice.
set the mood,
You set the vibe.
the vibe. Yeah,
Incense and peppermints.
yeah. We're gonna have it.
Aries, Corny wants to know what you're drinking tonight.
Lots.
I'm drinking the Clontarf. I bought myself the giant bottle.
Whoa! Show that to the fucking camera.
That's my big bottle.
Wow.
Second week here. 2 hands on that.
Choke on it.
Don't choke on it. Okay, yeah, it's much bigger than MZ's hand.
Speaking of which, I need a refill here. Thank you for reminding me, Corny.
All right, so I guess we can start to wind down this fucking train wreck of an intro, that is. But MZ, I'm glad you're still alive.
Thanks, man.
It wouldn't be the same without you. So
You should have went live.
It might be better.
Yeah, well,
We need you. We like you. We like you. You're fine.
oh, I'm fine. What are you hitting on me now?
Although I almost killed MZ when you gave me one of those Uncrustables Rave Shadow.
Oh, right.
I started eating an Uncrustable right next to him.
Thanks. So, yeah,
Oh,
no
yeah.
shit. Oh shit. Jesus Christ.
You'll be fine.
With peanut butter, no, I will not be fine.
I think you've outgrown that.
No, I have not.
No, you're too old to be allergic to this.
Dude.
I think you might be allergic to chicken.
Fish. It's peanut butter.
Chicken. I think you're allergic to chicken. That's where you ran into the problem.
I was allergic,
Your body was
chicken. I'm
rejecting it.
Yeah.
but peanut butter, I'm still allergic
I think
to.
you're still allergic to
That's
chicken.
an old wives'
No,
tale.
I'm not allergic to chicken.
I
I,
think
had,
you
I
should
had
go-
it earlier today.
Full vegan.
I had it earlier today.
Go full vegan.
I might kill myself if I was allergic to peanut butter. That would be horrible.
I'm so used to it, it doesn't even bother me. No. As a matter of fact, I was in the hospital about. I'm not sure. Do you guys remember when we were over at Tiny's house doing that puppet show?
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes.
Which is out of
Which-
context.
that really insane puppet show that we were doing for I don't even know what reason.
CryptoCast.
CryptoCast.
That might have been it. Yeah,
I
and
wasn't there for that.
well, that night I had a piece of cheesecake.
I remember this, yeah.
My girlfriend left for me, so I pounded down the cheesecake.
I swear she's trying to kill you.
Well, what she didn't know is that there were walnuts on there.
She didn't know.
She didn't know.
Oh, I had no
Yeah.
idea. I bought it from nuts.com.
and I ate it. I didn't taste any of the I didn't taste any walnuts. So after I ate it, stayed up for a little bit later and went to bed. About 10 minutes later, I woke up. My face is all rashy. My body's all rashy. I'm scratching and everything. And I'm like, you know what? That might have been nuts on that thing. That's the only thing I can think of. So I grabbed an EpiPen, jammed that sucker right into my leg, went back to bed. And what I didn't know is that it was just something to hold off the effects of a peanut allergy rather than eliminate it. So I went back to bed. About 10 minutes later, I wake back up again, and next thing you know, I'm really freaking out right now.
Oh,
So they call we call the hospital, call an ambulance. I zoom over to the hospital. I'm there overnight. They give me some stuff, and I go and I leave the next day.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. They gave you an EpiPen and didn't tell you how to use the EpiPen?
No. I know they told me. It's just that it was the first time I ever had to use an EpiPen.
Do you think they were lying to you?
No, of course not. But that's not the point. The point is that
So you just didn't listen.
No, it has nothing to do with not listening. I just didn't understand it because it was the first time I ever used it, and I got those EpiPens maybe a couple of years before.
I don't even think it was still good at that point then.
Yeah, they are.
They go bad.
I know they go bad. But
They
this
don't
one was
last
still.
years. Months.
I know, but this was still good. It was an EpiPen that was still good, so I used it. There wasn't much left to it as far as the date goes, the expiration date goes. Yeah, but I still used it.
You're gonna die. You're gonna die one of these days.
Nah, if I was gonna die, it would have happened a long time ago.
All right. So if you guys want to help support the show, as I mentioned earlier, patreon.com/trickortreatradio. And that's the best way you can help us out. And also you can head on over to trickortreatradio.com. Scroll down, look for the Amazon logo, click it. It's going to bring you to Amazon. It's going to input our affiliate link. Everything you purchase in that session gets attributed to us. It doesn't cost any extra. Michael Raven Shadow.
But it's another way to help keep the lights on.
That's right. So if you guys want to help support the show, you can do that. Whether you use, I know most of you probably go and buy stuff from Amazon all the time. Once in a while, whatever, just use our link. It'll help us out. And finally, trickortreatradio.com. There's a store. Click on it. You can buy some digital content. We got the greatest hits of Trick or Treat Radio, volumes 1 through 3, and some other goodies. So give that a look and help support the show. And another way, if you don't have any money to spare, times are tight, you can help support the show by sharing it, by telling people about it, by giving us reviews, especially on Apple Podcasts. If you're on there, go ahead and give us a 5-star review, and then go ahead and leave a few words about what you dig about the show. And wherever you listen to us, there should be a way to rate us. We'd appreciate that. All right, Raven Shadow. So you sit down to watch Color Out of Space. I mean, The Wave. What do you do to prepare for this movie?
Well, it was kind of a wave of disappointment, Johnny. I'll be honest with you, because I want to see crazy batshit Nicolas Cage in the motherfucker that made the Island of Dr. Moreau, or at least tried to. I want that. Couldn't happen. And then we had a plan B, which I'm like, oh, that's cool. I've already done my homework assignment, so I get like a pass, like a bye week. You know what I'm saying? Like the Patriots didn't get this year. Sucked. But then I had to watch a movie, it turns out. And,
why were you going to get a pass?
What?
Because I said what we were going to do.
Oh, you still need to rewatch it again.
And
refresher.
Thank you, but I did actually get a refresher with the aid of Corny. What do you think of that?
What, he gave you bullet points on it?
No, he gave me a code.
All right. So what'd you watch the Wave with?
What I watched the Wave with? I watched it with a lot of pharmaceuticals and fucking chemicals and fucking alcohol. And then I spent fun.
Oh, wow. All right.
Don't ask the question. Just get.
Greetings! We are the Retro Reductopus Cephala Podcast, the bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
He's right. We wax philosophic about lots of geeky crap like old video games and movies, toys, cartoons. I don't know, help me out here.
Music. Pants. Quoting video games that don't have dialogues. Shabibans. Tasty news.
Unnecessarily long Japanese onomatopoeia.
Butt breathers. Uncomfortable nature facts.
Or how to install a Samoflange.
And unlike all those other podcasts, we at Retro Reductopus have an exciting rotating host schedule.
Do we?
We sure do. So, if you didn't like the guy flapping his gums this week,
like me,
worry not, gentle listener. Next week, we'll have a whole new host.
Of problems.
Hey, they might still suck, but they'll suck differently.
And you know what's really cool? Retro Reductopus is part of the Inebriard Podcast Network, with new episodes out every Tentacle Tuesday.
Which is like every other Tuesday. We named it.
Anyways, you can listen to us at iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, or straight from the tab reductopus.buzzsprout.com.
I'm Alex West.
And I'm Andrea Subasati, and we're from the Faculty of Horror podcast.
And you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
Oh, delicious nerds. Ms. M knows you like to chat it up with other sexy shut-ins about comics, movies, video games, and your favorite TV shows. If that sounds like you, cuddle up to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group, or the FIB. That stands for Fan Interaction Board. Just go to Facebook and search for Trick or Treat Radio and have more fun than a Jedi at a lightsaber sale. Not enough? Watch us on YouTube, The Deadites TV, all one word. Last but not least, check out the world's most dangerous talk radio show, Trick or Treat Radio, at trickortreatradio.com.
Dear God, no!
All right, we have returned on Trick or Treat Radio.
Hey.
Hey. So, we're going to talk about our film this week. And the name of that film is The Wave. This film is rated R, 90 minutes. It is a sci-fi thriller. And it is directed by Gilly Claben, written by Carl Lucas. And it stars Justin Long, Tommy Flanagan, Katya Winter, Donald Faison, Sheila Vand, Sarah Minich, and Bill Sage. Synopsis: an insurance lawyer goes out on the town to celebrate an upcoming promotion with his coworker Jeff, but their night takes a bizarre turn. All right, they fucked up the synopsis here. Takes a bizarre turn when Frank is dosed with a hallucinogen that completely alters his perception of the world. So this is I wouldn't say it's different fare than what we normally do. This is, sci-fi thriller. We've done some stuff like this, but certainly not necessarily a horror movie, although there's some things, bad things that happen to some people, I guess. But this was from Epic Pictures, and just got a VOD release. I think it was a couple weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have it directly in front of me here. No, it was actually on the 17th of January. So so it was just about 2 weeks ago. Got a release. So this is available on VOD if you guys have not yet seen it, and if you're interested, you can check it out there. But let's hop into this one. So, as I mentioned, the film stars Justin Long, who we've obviously seen in, I think we've seen him in a boatload of shit. He used to be in a, what was that commercial? Do you guys remember? He used to be on a commercial.
Oh, some computer. I don't know if it was Dell or something.
Dell. That's what it was. Yep.
Oh yeah.
So, and the film was directed by, I'm not sure if I was saying his name correctly. I don't know. It's Gille. I don't know if it's Gilly or Guile. Probably Gilly. Directed by Gilly Claben, and this is his feature film debut. And I think we'll talk a little bit more about his performance as a director and what this is like as a debut. And I guess one other thing I wanted to add about Justin Long, he's kind of one of those actors that seems to really straddle the line well between big budget, big bit parts in big budget films, and more of a lead role in more sort of low budget indie films. And I think he excels in both. There's something sort of like charismatic about him, I think. And I think he's able to kind of pull that off. And I don't think many people can do it successfully, but I think he does it well. He's a leading man in indie films, and then he's a good sort of character actor in, and he's also had some bigger parts. He was in the Die Hard movie, right?
Yeah, in the I forget which one, but yeah, the DC one.
Yeah.
But yeah, he plays a specific type of character. It's not always the same character, but it's definitely the geeky, nerdy type guy. He's not the overly heroic guy.
Yeah.
He looks like the poor man's Adam Driver right now.
Poor man's Adam Driver. I don't know about that. Adam Driver's a handsome man.
There he is.
Evil Corny says Apple and PC guy. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
That's
Yeah, I knew
right.
it was a computer that he did.
Yeah, there was that. I mean, awesome in Dodgeball.
Yeah, but don't forget, he was also in Yoga Hosers.
He was the best. He was the best part of that.
Yeah.
He was the yoga. He was the yoga teacher. He was hilarious, I thought.
And he was great. He has a great scene in the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, which is very good. But he wasn't. He was the most normal I've seen him in a long time. And he kind of reminded me of a young Smoking Ty a little bit, doing some of the stuff.
I think only like 4 people know who that is.
And we're in this room.
Yeah, exactly. And me. Evil Corny says Live Free or Die Hard. That was the one that he was in.
Yeah. The one that also one that Kevin Smith had a little part in too as well.
True. Yes.
Yeah. But it was interesting seeing him not play, because he has kind of the Ben Stiller thing too, where he's either playing the character, where he's a little more, what do you want to say, outrageous, and then you kind of get sad sack Justin Long, where he's bumbling and fumbling.
Well, he's usually like an everyman. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I think you would relate to him, like every role he plays.
He's like Raven Shadow without the long hair and beard.
You know what? Especially in this movie where he's like walking a white dog in a sweater.
Yeah, right.
Like it's Raven Shadow.
Yeah, among other things.
Yeah, and he goes on a bender.
Yeah. It never comes down.
I'm retired.
Yeah, you keep saying that.
He's not paying attention, is he?
So I'm just gonna lay it on the line here, and I obviously didn't really know a ton about this movie, and I knew that obviously that Justin Long was in it, and that it also had Donald Faison, who MZ, you're a big fan of Donald Faison, right?
I guess I am. I know I'm a fan of Frankie Faison.
He's great. I fucking love that dude. In
what was Donald Faison in that I?
The TV show Scrubs.
Scrubs. He was in Clueless, Skyline, Kick-Ass 2. I was just kidding. I didn't mean that you actually really liked him. I was just kidding. But
I like Frankie Faison. Frankie Faison is cool.
So he's been in a lot of stuff. I mean, people would recognize him from. He was in Robot Chicken. I think he did the voice of Mumra.
Really?
Yeah. He's done a whole lot of shit.
Mum scared the shit out of me back in the day, dude. He's a fucking OG.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty legit cast here for a relatively small indie flick here. But I so I didn't know a ton about this. I did watch the trailer. Sometimes I like to, and I kind of wanted to see how they'd present this film. And I think they did a pretty good job of selling it. And I got to say, this movie kind of surprised me. I once again kind of, didn't go in with super high expectations, which I guess I do for every film. But I don't know. Like, at the end of this, I was like, that was pretty cool. Like, there's a lot to like about it, I think. And it's kind of like a mind-bending sci-fi thriller. I wouldn't even know if I'd consider it there is sci-fi, but it's not the type of sci-fi that you would expect, right? It's sort of more of a I don't want to give too much away. Well, I guess time travel potentially, and psychotropic drugs, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's sci-fi in the aspect that it's fictional science.
Yeah,
in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to put it. It's not necessarily like, technology. Like specific technology that doesn't exist. But yeah. So we have Justin Long plays Frank, and Frank is living this pretty mundane, maybe miserable existence, and he clearly isn't very happy, but he's kind of stuck in this rut of kind of like what we're all expected to do. Like it's like when people talk about, like when you're going to get older, you're going to get married, get a house, blah blah blah, all this stuff, and he falls into that, but it turns out that he's not really happy. Like I assume you guys agree with that? I mean,
oh yeah, totally. Well, he's coming up. He's a lawyer. He works for a firm, and he's trying to get like, what do you call it, like a partnership, or
yeah. He's trying to move up the ranks
to get his bones, and he's obviously making cash. He's got a wife, but as the film progresses, we learn that he makes money, but he doesn't have a lot of money in terms of where, can the wife use the gold card to buy a dress? He's like, oh, well, you already have a dress. Well, I had to use the mortgage money to leverage the trip
right. It was like this domino effect of,
it's like having fucking, champagne dreams with fucking Boone's prices. You know what I mean? Kind of stuff.
We all know what that's like, Raven Shadow.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. No,
some of us still do.
Yeah.
Well, see, I don't know. I mean, I feel that just kind of right off the bat sets the stage that he doesn't make a lot of money, where she wants to live the rich and famous lifestyle, but he just can't provide. And that's what he's shooting for with the firm.
But I think they're living more than their means.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
She
wants to live that life. He's trying, but he can't provide what she wants.
Yeah.
Right, but obviously, you're not entry level.
He's making the money, she's spending it.
Oh, he's entry level. Why wouldn't you think he's entry level?
Well, for entry level for a lawyer, but still, that's more than it ain't fucking.
That's shit.
Yeah, well, it ain't fucking Walmart. No offense to anyone who fucking does that, but I mean.
But that's still. I mean, he had to pay for his law degree.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not. He's. You know what? I probably make more money than him.
Yeah, I mean, he's balling on a budget.
I don't know if I'd consider that balling, but yeah. So
big house.
I thought that interaction with his wife at the beginning was very telling, obviously, and and then she's like, "Well, why did you need that new TV?" And he's like, "Well, it's 4K." She's like, "Well, why is it better?" He's like, "It looks better." Like he didn't really even know how to explain why, but he knew he wanted it. So it kind of gets to the heart of like some commerce in here as well, and material goods, which I think definitely have a play in this. But I mean, it's just he clearly isn't very happy in this situation. His wife's just like yelling at him, and clearly they don't have a great relationship, and so. And then, and because he kind of broke this whole case at work, and the and he has a meeting set up for the next day to talk to the partners about it and kind of let them know what's going on. He's going to save the firm. Was it like millions of dollars or something like that?
Yeah, basically it's kind of like a poor man's Keanu Reeves from Devil's Advocate, where basically he found some insurance loophole where this firm was going to pay a large settlement to someone who passed away, but he found a loophole where they can get out of paying somebody who got sick, and he's gonna present it. So his boy from Scrubs, they want to go out and celebrate, get toe up from the floor up, but he's like, no, I got to go home, because we watch,
She makes tacos on Tuesday, and then we watch TV.
So
and maybe she busts his balls. She goes to bed early. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna go with my fucking boy.
Yeah, it's like 9:30. She's like, I'm going to bed, and he's like, it's early. She's like, I'm tired, and then. So she's like, don't forget to walk the dog. And then he goes out, and then while he's out walking the dog, he sees two people like making out or having sex in a car. And he's like,
yes.
And he's like, fuck, I'm going out. So he calls his buddy, and then they go out. they go out to a bar, and what was his buddy's name? Jeff. Donald Faison played Jeff, and so Jeff has like there's like two girls at the bar. He's getting drinks and they're hanging out, and so he ends up talking to Teresa, who's played by Sheila Vaughn, and you guys might remember her from A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. She was the main character in that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And apparently she's also in the upcoming Snowpiercer TV show as well. So, but yeah, I knew she looked familiar. And then the other girl, her friend, is in. I saw like a little bit of the first season, but have you guys seen Sleepy Hollow? Did you guys watch that television show, Sleepy Hollow?
I watched some of that.
Okay, well, go ahead.
She looked familiar.
Okay, yeah. So, anyways, the other. Let me see what her. Yeah, so she played Katrina Crane in that show. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so I'm trying to remember now because I only saw the first like 6 episodes or so. Which she wasn't the main character because Katrina was in the past, right?
Right. She was.
Yeah. Okay.
Wife, so she was in the flashbacks.
That's right. Okay. Yep. So got some people who we recognize right off the bat, and then they're at the bar and they're like, oh well, let's go to a party, and the girls invite them to a party, so they go, and this is when things take a turn. This is the Charles Durning point, right, Raven Shadow?
It's pretty good, and it's on a Tuesday.
Yeah,
which is very, so like going out drinking, fine, whatever. But now they're in like a raging fucking keg party.
Yeah, they're at a rave.
Tuesday night.
They're at a rave, and they
At
meet
a
up.
house.
Yeah, but they meet up with this guy named Aurelius, something like that. Anulius.
Yeah, well, you don't really know his name. He's just the guy.
They never really mention his name, I don't think. Yeah.
By
in there and
Tommy
and
Flanagan.
There you go. I'm going to fucking talk about him. But yeah, Justin Long is fucking feeling the vibe from the brunette. TV Scrubs is macking on.
TV Scrubs.
You know what I mean? So, and obviously, and then his wife's calling. He's not answering the phone, and his phone is dying. So they go to this party, and he's trying to find out where his friends are, and it comes out where there's some. It's snowing in some of the rooms. So people are partaking in that, and I'm not talking about what.
Yeah, you're not talking about actual snow.
Not in elementary school. We know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Like what
come
happened in Weird Science.
Kind of that rhymes with Mocaine.
Mocaine.
Okay. There's a guy upstairs. So Justin Long goes to chill. He's not partaking. He goes to a room and he comes across my man, Tommy Flanagan from the Sons of the Anarchy program.
Sons of the Anarchy program.
Yeah. TV's Chibs.
You ever heard the term make a long story short?
No.
Obviously.
No, he knows how to make a long story long.
I'm setting a fucking table.
Making a short story long.
I'm setting a storytelling table.
So he meets up. So he meets up with a guy named Anulius, and he's got 2 girls wrapped all over him, and they're jibber jabbing to each other.
Jibber jabbing.
A little bit with each other, and Anulius just says, "Okay, look, man, you got to unwind. You're uptight. Try some of this, man." Yeah. So they they break out the magic spoon and they just put it.
It was like a devil spoon, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, first he does a bump, and that was going to change your perspective.
Yeah.
That will make you be a lot more.
That was not a bump.
That was a.
That was a line. There's a difference between a line and a bump.
All
that
right.
was a fucking line.
Well, Sam Kinison bump, but yeah, it was a line to most people. Sam did a lot of coke. Just saying.
Oh man. So yeah, and then the way that you're supposed to take this hallucinogenic drug. I don't think they gave a name to it, they put a drop on someone's tongue, and then that person has to kiss the other person. Supposed to not, keep it on the tip of your tongue, and then so he kisses Teresa, and then he's like, okay, well, I don't really feel anything. He's like, oh, I don't. He's like, it'll hit you like a wave, which titular line, right? Is that what happens, Raven Shadow?
With what?
Oh God!
No, I don't do hallucinogenics. So that's
yeah. He asked how it was going to come about. Like, when is it going to peak? And his response was, it'll hit you like a wave, and then all of a sudden, flash,
boom,
the fucking room. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the wave came and went and fucking left him fucking high and dry.
So there is, without giving a ton away, there's some stuff I do want to talk about, but I'm not going to give away plot details beyond this point. So there's, he gets hit by the wave, so to speak, and then all of a sudden he's in a different time, different place. Well, no, he wakes up. That's right. He wakes up at the party. And
that was a great scene.
Yeah. And it's morning. No one is there. He's in the house alone, and it's completely trashed. And he goes, gets his stuff together, and he goes to leave. And as he's about to, head near the door opens, and it's a family of Asian people. And they open the door, and he's like, no, I didn't do this. Because they clearly live there and didn't know what the fuck happened to their house. So they call the police. He has to run. And then he's, it's dangerously close to his very important meeting that he's supposed to attend. And so he pays he has no money, and he hails a cab and tells a cabbie. He eventually figures they negotiate, and he offers to pay triple what the fare is, and it ended up being $120 or something like that.
Yeah, times 3, so it would have been like 3 coin.
Yeah.
And he pulls up, and I mean, to be fair, he is living in a fucking Tony Soprano level house. That's not.
He's just living in the suburbs.
Yeah, it's suburbs.
It's a big fucking house.
It isn't a big fucking house. It's a normal suburban house.
Johnny.
What? What?
I'm sorry. I mean, it's a 2-story house, 1-car garage. They're fucking stacked on one another. I mean, this is just a normal suburban house in fucking L.A.
I have a normal suburban house.
In L.A.?
No, in New England.
Yeah. Your house is flat. Theirs is tall. Otherwise, it's fucking same square footage.
I got a basement, assholes. Okay.
Yeah. Same square footage. I'd be willing to bet money.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Within 1,000 feet, same square footage.
Huh.
So, moving on.
Property fucking magnet fucking Aries.
I'm sorry. when they lay it out how big the fucking house is, I notice.
They got big fucking doors.
So the size of the doors has everything to do with the value of the house?
No, I'm fucking sorry.
I'm sorry. If you can reach out your window and shake your neighbor's hand and they're still in their house, you're not fucking living the rich and famous life.
No, well. All right. Well,
also realize it could have just been the camera angles used too. I mean, a camera adds about maybe 5,000 pounds to a house.
Yeah.
No, these are cookie
square feet.
These are cookie cutter houses built for $100,000 and sold for $200,000.
No.
There's fucking nothing to these fucking places.
All right. Well, I'm fucking done.
Yes. Now that we all realize that, we can move forward.
And
then what happened, Johnny?
So, and then when he gets home, obviously he's in a rush, and his wife is like, "Where the fuck were you?" Because he was gone all night, and so he's quickly changing, trying to get ready for his meeting, and then she gets his shirt and smells it, and smells another woman on it, and starts throwing shit at him, and then he's in the bathroom brushing his teeth. He shuts the door, and all of a sudden he's at work. And brushing his teeth at the office all of a sudden. So, we're getting some jumps in time here, and things are happening. So at this point, he goes to his big meeting, and in that meeting, we get like a really fucking trippy scene. It was actually pretty well done. The boardroom scene was, I like the attention that they paid to the little details. So while he was in the boardroom, we had like somebody, like a woman who was serving tea, and then the maintenance guy fixing the clock. Like I just thought those were nice little touches, and you could tell that he was distracted, and then all of a sudden, the guy who's like fixing the clock like looks to fall off the ladder, and then is like falling off in like slow motion, and then the whole room just sort of like changes. It has this weird sort of like filter on it, and everything is, and everyone's acting differently, and so he's trying to like deal with this while he's actually trying to like be present at this meeting. So that was kind of crazy.
It's as he's describing how they can basically cheat this fucking poor bastard out of the money that he's due. You can see them all getting like excited about it. And the one chick's like, "I want you to fuck me on this table," and the boss is like, "Yeah, fuck her on that table," And they're all kind of like morphing.
Yeah,
like
not only is it
like
visually different, the it's not the whole "fuck me on the table" thing. That is not actually what they're saying.
Right.
So he's just full on like like audio and visually hallucinating this whole fucking scene.
Like Natural Born Killers, where he's like fucking,
Oh yeah, shit is just morphing and everything else. And this is the scene where I checked in.
Okay.
Because I'll be perfectly honest with you, I was checked out up until this point.
Really? All right, yeah.
Because you know what? I am like, I've been to a bar on a Tuesday when a fucking band's playing, and yeah, that is that fucking bar on a fucking Tuesday. Like, so fucking sad. And I've been at that house party. Granted, a little far-fetched that house party happened on a Tuesday, but I've been at that fucking house party and I've been fucking miserable. So I just fucking checked out. Yeah. But this scene, I was like, ooh, yeah, I'm in. Like that scene is what brought me into this movie.
Okay.
But that house party on a Tuesday probably happens in L.A.
It might. Yeah. No, I can't say that. Yeah. But as far as around here, on a Tuesday, you go to a house party, it's you and some fucking creepy guy. Like, just fucking walk out.
You want to do a shot?
No.
Yeah.
It's important to have this whole movie done from Justin Long's character's point of view. If you were to take that point of view and make it like a third person, you wouldn't have the same effect, So this was very important to make sure that we are experiencing what Frank is experiencing, and keeping it at that first person point of view was very important, and to maintain that.
And they did a very good job of that, making you feel the uncomfortableness of him in these situations, because although he wanted to fit in, he was not fitting in because he was the suit at the bar. He was the suit at the party. Like, he visually he stood out, and just physically he stood out because he felt uncomfortable, and you could see that by how everyone else was reacting around him.
He was self-aware that he was the dad in the room.
Well, yeah. Right. Oh yeah.
Well,
and
there was
people
that.
just to him and blatantly disregarding him because of how he was presenting himself.
Right.
Well, there was that whole scene too at the party when when Teresa makes a comment about bringing her dad to the party to him.
Oh yeah.
And he wasn't the oldest dude there. I mean, Tommy Flanagan's probably 20 years on Justin Long, or at least 10.
But it's just that appearance of the shirt and tie.
Right.
Like you don't go to that party in a shirt and tie.
Right.
Well, maybe you would, but
yeah, but I have my beard, my hair would be flowing. It'd be a whole thing. It'd be a different character.
Yeah, he looks. Yeah, Frank looks very prim and proper here. He looks.
He looks very Raven Shadow.
Well, there's the beard and the hair and the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole.
Oh God damn it!
So
I think I hit a nerve.
Like no fucking accountant. You know what I'm saying? Like
no shit.
I did get a 4 in accounting. That's pretty much Aries' fault.
But like Aries just said, I was kind of like, okay, like I'm gonna see where this movie goes, but I love that like where it takes a turn. Like it didn't linger too long on the sort of mundane stuff. It was just enough, and it to the point where you were kind of like, like this guy's kind of lame, and then it takes this turn, and there's a series of unexpected events, and from that point on, you kind of can't guess where it's going or what's happening, and that was one thing I really dug about it. Like I enjoyed how we sort of were taken on this journey with Frank, and we had no fucking clue. I mean, at least I didn't. I had no clue where this is going.
Yeah, no. I'll disagree. You can guess where it's going, but you're going to be fucking wrong.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Because I guessed 3 times where it was going, and I was wrong every fucking time. Well, I was pissed at myself.
The whole movie was trying to make you feel like you're going through an acid trip or whatever kind of trip that Frank is going through, in which and now bear in mind I've never done hard drugs before, so I couldn't really tell you.
You want to?
I'll hit you up next time. But I mean, there are times, and this will probably reflect off of what Wolfie said, is that there's moments where it's very calm, very slow, very some dialogue going on, but not much going on, but not much as far as action is going on, and then all of a sudden, boom! It starts zipping into high gear with I don't want to say high action, but it gives you trippy vibes, and it hits you like a thunderbolt, and it just keeps on going and going and going, and then it slows itself down again. And I'm guessing it's supposed to reflect the idea of the trip that he is facing, or a trip that anybody who has done hard drugs has faced. I don't know. But I thought that was an interesting way to present it to present itself to us. But I don't know if I actually felt comfortable with that because it kind of, I mean, it felt awkward, it felt uneven, but I guess that's the goal that it wanted to reach.
I mean, being that you never experienced hard drugs, you're lacking that understanding of this movie. And not that I'm 100% an expert on that, but like this definitely brought me back to that era of my life where it was just like, it's just I'm putting along, all of a sudden fucking doing 100 miles an hour, and I'm gonna do 30, and then I'm gonna do fucking $120, and it's just that whole like just rapid just speed changes in perception. This movie, like, just fucking it brought you right there. Like there were just points where it's just like this movie's just kind of going along, and it's like, holy fuck! Like, like there was one point where I went, he's gonna die, and then an actor on the screen went, you're gonna die. And I was like, yes.
That was one of my favorite scenes. So, yeah, he goes. They're trying to find out more about what happened, and they go visit a drug dealer. It wasn't the drug dealer they were looking for, and he ends up doing a ton of drugs. Like he basically takes them all and puts them on
every drug. Yeah.
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 And then
he's got powder all over his face. Yeah. He's in pills by the handful.
That's not what you do.
Yeah. And the guy's like, "Oh, you're gonna die."
Yeah. Something's gonna die tonight.
That was so good. And yeah, but the thing is, and it did, and like Ari said, it had those moments of where you got a bit of a respite, and especially with those scenes where he meets up with Teresa, and he's commenting on, "Oh, the stars look so nice," and and that was sort of like the real Frank, because she got to the heart of it of you don't care about these 4K TVs, and that's not you, and he he was mentioning how he feels like himself. And he wants to be himself, and he's sort of living this lie in a sense, and he feels comfortable with her, and and learning more about you can tell that he's just not comfortable in his normal life, not just at home, but in his job, everything, and I think that a lot of people can probably relate to that, in maybe not all the time, but at points in their life,
But that was even something of their initial conversation, too, where on one hand, these people should not be sharing a moment together. But when she talks
Yeah.
about what he for a living and he's doing, well, people who get foreclosed upon, they put themselves in that predicament. And he makes a comment about, don't mortgage your house for a TV.
Right.
Which is, he spent that money on a TV. A TV isn't really that fucking expensive. But she made the comment about, if I really thought you believed that, I wouldn't be talking to you, or something along those
Well,
lines.
first she said, "Are you trying to convince me or you?"
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it, yep.
So it's like he's drinking the Kool-Aid to get the job, to get the status stuff, but he doesn't really want to do it, and that's why we kind of see his, crisis of conscience as the film progresses.
Yeah, and there's some interesting things here too, because in a sense, like we talked about, he found a loophole that was going to screw over a family, and it's sort of like, I don't necessarily think it's the idea of karma, but it's the idea of balance, and things sort of find a way of working out, it seems, at least if they're intended to. I think there's a lot of kind of cool philosophical stuff in this that we could probably get a little bit deeper into, but it would probably entail talking a little bit more about some of the stuff that happens. But I thought that was cool. It was enough where it broached the subject but wasn't overwhelming. It wasn't like you had a ton dumped on you of like, oh, well, it didn't feel preachy. It didn't feel like you're being talked down to or anything like that. I just thought it was just the right balance of sort of these concepts of, that they discuss, and sort of how people feel trapped by these sort of mundane existence that we're all supposed to live, or that's what most people think you're supposed to do, So I thought that was really interesting. And, we get glimpses here of him wanting to be something else, and he wants to be with her because, with Teresa, because he feels like himself around her, and that's something that he doesn't experience in other aspects of his life. So I thought that was, and there's some really kind of like standout scenes, like that drug scene was that we just referenced was this kind of a standout. And there's some interesting characters as well. There's the homeless man who makes a couple appearances, and I thought he was good. And you gonna say something, Raven Shadow?
Yeah, I mean, like, I know smoking butts is a dirty, disgusting habit, but I probably wouldn't take a butt from a homeless guy.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
It's
Why
gross.
not?
Yeah.
I think you would.
I'd buy a cigarette off of a homeless guy.
Yeah, I'd buy a pack. I'd get my own.
But it's more of giving the homeless guy money and making him feel that worth, that he's selling something to earn a little money rather than just begging for $1.
Fair. I mean, if the pack was open, it's like going and getting tattoos. If you open the pack in front of me, maybe I'll take it. Like, open the needles to do the stuff. Yeah.
What do you think he's doing to it?
Yeah. You know where they've been.
Jesus. On the streets.
Wow. Well,
yeah, I will.
I mean, there's being cautious and there's being paranoid.
Well, that's Raven Shadow.
Yeah.
It's a weird line. It's
Captain Paranoia over here.
Fucking medical problems. Don't fucking tell me. No, I liked him.
But I loved all the characters in this.
Yeah, no,
they were
me
all,
too.
they were done beautifully.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not I almost said I could relate to all of them. I could relate to none of them. Like, it was just, but they were just all done so well. I could understand where all of them are coming from.
Right, even the wife. Everyone from.
Oh yeah, I mean, I hated the wife.
Right,
but I could understand her.
She probably wouldn't do the Heimlich maneuver on him either.
True.
Depends on the insurance policy.
That's
fair. Yeah, exactly. And and each character sort of had like their own, I'm not going to say necessarily gimmick, but like, Tommy Flanagan's character was, like he was very memorable. Like, I guess memorable. Like the character, we had the drug dealer Richie, played by Ronnie Gene Blevins.
He's great.
He was awesome. And
his manservant.
And what?
He's like manservant Jerome, like Morris Day.
Yeah.
He was great. I love Tommy Flanagan's jacket. I want that.
But I think Aries is right. There's a lot of really great characters and memorable characters, and especially with this sort of like this was almost like a night in the life party movie that got really sort of like existential and and like hallucinogenics involved.
Yeah, I think the real star of this movie, though, I think, is the editing, because for a movie that's for a movie that's non-sequential, it does come across as sequential.
Well, I mean,
in a very unusual way.
In a way, it's non-sequential, but in a way, it is.
Yeah. It's not like it's so bizarre, the editing in this movie, and how this movie is all structured together, and to make some sort of sense in the end. It's really an incredible achievement, to be perfectly honest with you, because the story really is all over the place. And it isn't until the end that everything starts to come and make sense. And so I think the editing of this movie is it's the real highlight of this movie. I think the editing in this movie is fantastic.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's a real chore.
I think I was a little thrown off by the this sort of hallucination scenes. It felt a bit cheesy at first, but then like it just seemed like it was kind of stylized, and it didn't really bug me. I think it was a little jarring the first time in the boardroom, but other than that, like it was almost like it was like it was intended to almost look a little cell shaded, almost like a
Scanner Darkly or something like that.
Yeah. So I think it was just the initial sort of reaction to it was threw me off a little bit, but I think that as the movie went on, it didn't bug me anymore.
Well, I think that was kind of intentional to try to, lull you into the security of the real world in this movie, and then because it wasn't so drastic that hallucinogenic state where it kind of flashed back and forth initially. So it was just it was a little jarring, and it was just kind of, when you're hallucinating, you don't 100% realize you're hallucinating at first. So it is true. It is kind of disconcerting. Like I feel that was spot on to that state where it was just kind of like, is this really happening? Is this reality? Is this fantasy? Like,
yeah, it definitely blurred the lines.
That was spot on.
Well, that was what the question was what is hallucination? What is reality? And we learn that as the movie goes along with Frank.
Oh yeah, but I mean, as you're watching this stone sober, and you can see that, visually it's changing. Okay, he's hallucinating, but he doesn't know that. And
right.
Like to people that have hallucinated, like, you understand that even though 100% makes no sense, but you're still like, this is real. This is happening. This person's face is melting in front of me. Like it is that you try to rationalize what is happening. Like my eyes aren't deceiving me. This person is melting in front of me. Mm-hmm. Like it is that, and that I thought that portrayed that very well.
Yeah.
This movie, as far as the hallucinations go, I think, well, maybe not the hallucinations, but well, maybe the hallucination. I'm not even really sure. But the more when I watch this movie, I had brain damage on my mind. The movie Brain Damage.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were going to say you had brain damage.
It's okay. Yeah. It's kicking honey. The brain damage.
I may be choking again.
Oh, hello, Brian.
Yeah. Because of the hallucination drug that
scope.
Elmer puts on. So I started thinking about that.
Well, you probably think about that movie daily, anyways.
How can I not? What a treasure that movie is! Jesus Christ,
an absolute treasure.
Have you ever seen it,
Johnny?
Have you seen it,
Johnny?
It's a yes or no question.
Yes or no?
What's it with you, motherfucker?
How the hell would I remember that? Look at him looking at the camera. Look at
Johnny.
him pointing. Oh, he's going to WrestleMania.
Is your WrestleMania moment.
On the road.
You're not going to WrestleMania, Raven Shadow. Okay,
maybe you.
Knock your shit off.
You're going in your house.
No, he's going to be in a dark match.
Yeah. It was really good. No, Thomas Smart is going to come over. It'd be excellent.
So,
but it just somehow makes some sort of semblance of sense in the end. Because there's a lot of open-ended questions by the time you get to that point.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that happen, and then everything ties up really nicely in a way that I didn't see coming, and that's the thing I really liked about this was it all sort of made cosmic sense, if you will, I guess, if that's a good way to put it, and it just was in a sense happy sad ending, if you will.
Yeah.
Without giving too much away, I think that.
Would you say it's a satisfying ending?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think so too, because it did leave that one question unanswered rather.
I had a lot of unanswered questions.
Well, I mean, yeah, I suppose you can make a case for saying there's a shitload of unanswered questions in this movie, but I mean, for as far as Frank is concerned, I think it rounded out pretty nicely.
Would you turn the volume down?
What happened?
Well, you don't know what happened.
What are you doing, Raven Shadow?
He's fucking with his phone, and he's got the volume
We're
up. He can't even
about a fucking movie.
And he's watching the show on his phone.
Jesus Christ!
I don't know what happened.
We know what happened. You're a goofball.
You're watching the show on your phone.
Yeah, I got the fucking
1080p
over here.
Which is fine. Just keep the volume down, dude.
Keep the fucking chicken down, dude.
That's the problem.
Keep it down. That's the problem.
That's the problem.
Don't choke. It's exciting.
All right, let's just give the verdict.
Yeah. All right, so I think we've got to the point where if we start talking too much, we're gonna give some stuff away. So let's do the verdict.
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, it is verdict time. We're going to let you know whether this flick was a trick or a treat and any final thoughts we may have. Aries.
Shit. Okay.
You shouldn't have said something a few weeks ago.
Yeah, you know what? You're supposed to forget about that. I wasn't ready. No, this movie definitely it had its high points. It hit a lot of the drug-induced states, and I could 100% relate to this. And I was having not legitimate flashbacks, but I was oh yeah, I was there. I remember that. But it was just there was a whole lot of unanswered questions in this movie for me. I don't know if I'm necessarily maybe I'm nitpicking with some certain things where it was maybe easier for this movie to do things off camera. It was things happened off camera that I'm not 100% on board with. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil anything. If you've seen this movie, you probably know, maybe not necessarily know because these guys aren't giving me the nod of approval that I'm hoping for. That's convincing. Thank you. There are just things that happen that aren't fully explained that I feel they just kind of took the easy way out by having them happen off camera. That they needed, to me, they needed an explanation there because certain things happen that it was explained, but it happened off camera. Other things happened off camera and there was no explanation. It just was there. Although it was satisfying, all these things the outcome was satisfying, and this movie was very satisfying. It was 100% an acid trip. You will, like I said, you will 100% know where this movie's going, and then you'll be wrong multiple times. Like this movie, you think you know where it's going. This movie, it tells you where it's going Hollywood-wise, and then it makes a sharp left on you. It is, in that aspect, it is such a good movie. This movie does not follow any of the Hollywood blueprints, but it takes some shortcuts that I have a little bit of a problem with. But all in all, this movie is a treat. Check this movie out. Yeah, treat.
All right, MZ.
Well,
no choke.
Fine.
Trick or choke.
Choke radio.
Yeah, you know what? I did like this film. I didn't love it though, to borrow a phrase from one of you assholes.
It was tiny back in the day. I liked this movie. I didn't love it.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about watching films like this. Now I'm into watching pretty much anything, and I don't know, but I think the fact that I'm taken out of the experience aspect of this kind of hinders my judgment on this film a little bit, because I've never done hard drugs before, and so.
But then again, you've not been in the Kumite either.
Kumite.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know what you're saying.
No,
What do
but
you-
you've also not been in like an Alaskan, wasteland with a alien thing, running amok. So like,
no, but I wouldn't want that either.
But you don't have to be in a jungle and fight a predator to be down.
Wait, you haven't done that?
Well, you know what? I've never been in a zombie apocalypse, but I'd love to be in that shit.
I wish you were in one right now.
You wouldn't last.
We might if coronavirus fucking takes over.
Yeah,
but you know what? But the whole hallucinogenic,
yes,
yeah, fuck off. The whole drug hallucinogenic state,
yeah,
that is very unique.
And yes, I'm having fun with MZ.
Yeah,
but
and I'm sure it's unique to every different person.
But you can also state that someone that watched Platoon that was in Vietnam has a different viewing experience than me.
Right, fair. Right.
It doesn't mean I didn't enjoy the movie.
Thank you.
I just had a different viewing experience.
I think is what I was saying.
You're knocking him for having a different viewing experience than we did.
True.
Yeah, don't knock the people who didn't do hard drugs, man.
What you want?
So we were the ones that were in Vietnam. He was the one who wasn't.
It was like we were in Vietnam, Eric.
Oh, stop it! Shut up!
Do you not understand the reference I'm making?
We should get patches.
Oh, God damn it,
Johnny.
Go ahead, MC. My fault.
Thank
Can we
you.
get
I'm
patches?
sorry. I tried to help.
No patches.
Right. Damn it.
Thank you, Aries.
So because of that, I can't give an honest review as to
You don't have
whether
to
or
have
not.
fucking done drugs to say whether you like this movie or not.
Will you
I
relax?
said that.
Will you relax?
I feel I
relax.
said that. Johnny,
Calm
stay
down.
over tomorrow.
Relax. All right, everybody, just relax. Take some drugs and relax.
You got
anything.
Are you on uppers, ma? Are you on uppers, ma?
No, I don't mean to say it alters my judgment of the film, but I'm just saying I don't know how accurate that is. From everybody else's perspective, mainly you two.
Thank you.
I would probably have to say that it is. But like I said before, I think the editing is the real star of this movie, because the visuals are interesting, the performances are, they're fairly good. I don't see anybody walking away with any awards for this film, but I do say the editing is the real star of this movie. It becomes very very twisted. Doesn't answer every question, but it closes the book on most. It does have a satisfying ending, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not saying this isn't a treat, because it is. I'm going to say this is a treat, but it's not a strong treat. I think this is more visual eye candy than anything else.
Would it be a tepid treat?
Slightly more than that, actually.
Lukewarm treat?
Yeah, why not a lukewarm treat? A tasty treat. Give it a tasty treat.
How many bumps is it?
4 bumps. 4.5 bumps.
4.5 bumps.
That's almost a full line.
Yeah,
Fucking right.
Let me do the fucking
Well,
line.
it goes to show you what I know about bumps. I don't even know how much that is. So, I'm just going along with the flow here. Look at this
What
guy
the fuck
rolling.
are you doing?
He's rolling a dollar bill. Ain't that nice?
Oh, big spender there.
Yeah.
Single dollar. Hundreds.
Yeah, well, $100 and a dollar bill to fucking still get same fucking conduit.
Oh, you don't fucking know.
So I'll say so for everything said, I'll say that this is a treat. Yes.
Okay.
A minor treat. Yes.
All right, Raven Shadow. How many bumps in the line?
No. How many bumps in the line? It's like, how many fucking Tootsie Roll Pop and shit like that? Oh, the worst is fucking buying that in a brown fucking napkin outside fucking Milton Street bar.
2,
I don't want
3.
to talk about it.
Would you stop rolling your fucking dollar bill?
What? That's for the camera. But no, what I say is, no, I like Jay Long and TV Scrubs in a buddy adventure film. I like that. And really, Justin Long just wanted to do the fucking right thing. He wanted to be good at his job, and he wanted to go home. His buddy was fucking busting his balls about going out. His wife was busting his balls about money. It wasn't his fucking fault. You know what I'm saying? I can relate. He made some bad decisions.
His life is a bad decision.
Well, that's well, it could be fair. I mean, raise your hand. But no, I think if there were 2 other movies you wanted to watch before this, and this was the third that you got to watch, I think you'd be in for a fight. Yeah.
What does that even mean? What are the other 2 movies?
Yeah.
The fucking
Come
movie.
on. What, we're talking about like 2001? Clockwork Orange? What are we talking here?
Let's fucking watch Clockwork. But no, I think I like it. What I'm trying to say, I think we can all agree on it.
Don't even fucking bring us into your fucking illusion here.
Yeah.
And your hallucinogenic nightmare.
Yeah.
Because I've jumped off your fucking train as soon as you started talking here.
I thought you were on my train.
I was until you started talking. Then I have fucking no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, I zoned out immediately. Dude.
Reminds me of a meeting I had this morning.
We kind of know what.
But yeah, no, I think what we're all trying to say.
No.
For a starring role, I think Justin Long did a decent job.
I think they did a great job.
Yeah. Some might say great job.
I love the decent job. I say great job, and you went, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. 87 minutes. Perfect. I like that runtime. Still a long 87 minutes, though.
It wasn't. It was not.
Well, in a way.
Christ, this is the worst.
I know, isn't it? In a way, I guess it is, because, I mean, if you're in a hallucinogenic state, I guess 87 minutes is an eternity.
Or it could be a moment.
Yeah.
Very,
you wouldn't know, MZ.
That's true. That's very true, yeah.
You have no point of reference.
I like the adventures. I like that. Once again.
The Adventures of Justin and Scrubs.
I would say this is a tepid treat.
Okay.
Fuck.
All right. So for me, for me, this is a treat. I actually really enjoyed this. I think this is sort of an examination of the mundane existence that far too many of us live. We get so set in our daily routines that we kind of forget to expand our horizons and try new things and like just kind of like branch out a little bit. We get so hung up on commerce and having the best stuff when we monetarily and mentally cannot afford it. So I think that it had something to say about that. everything we need, we have. We don't need excess, and I appreciate this kind of examination of that. Of we really have everything we need within ourselves, but there's this whole other sort of like aspect of material goods that people kind of like are playing this game of like who can collect the most fucking toys, right? So I thought that was kind of interesting, and I also like the examination of morals and how we justify career and personal advancement over doing the right thing, and how that can negatively impact others, and how things can seemingly end up working out eventually. Is sort of a, maybe a way of putting it. But I thought that there was a lot of really interesting concepts in this, and there's some talk about the universe and how it balances out. I thought that was kind of interesting, and it seemed like they were kind of going into, sort of existential sort of territory, but didn't go too far. And I think that was smart. If it went a little bit too much further, I think it would have alienated some people. So I think it really kind of towed that line really well. So yeah, I mean, I like a lot of what they did in this, and this was, like I said, this was a surprise. Like I was just kind of expecting like a, kind of a hallucinogenic sort of trip, but it was pretty coherent, and it wrapped up really nicely. I actually really enjoyed the end of this, and it kind of tied a lot of things together that I didn't think would be tied together. So yeah, treat for me. And if you're kind of into this sort of thing, if I wouldn't call it a drug movie, I would call it sort of, in a sense, maybe almost. I'm not going to relate it at all to the Matrix films, but the one thing I will say is sort of the, you take the blue pill, take the red pill, and kind of like step outside and become kind of woke, if you will, And I think that Justin Long sort of like transcends the mundane existence and kind of sees things at like from a different viewpoint, and I think that that's kind of interesting. And I think that this is a film that, hopefully will make people think a little bit, But no, I really enjoyed it. So, treat for me on The Wave, and that's going to wrap up our discussion of The Wave. Now, I don't actually... So, next week, we had a movie all picked out, and... looks like that movie is not actually going to be released the way I thought it was once again. So we're running into another issue here. I was hoping that we were going to do Uncut Gems, and I kept seeing it was going to be out on January 31st. That is true everywhere except the U.S. So,
look, America invented Netflix.
Yeah, but in America, Netflix also has to honor contracts. So I think A24 has a contract with Amazon for exclusive streaming rights, but I think it's a co-Netflix production. I don't know. I was trying to find out some more details, and it was a little foggy. So I don't, unless it somehow drops onto Netflix. I don't think we're going to be doing Uncut Gems next week, which is unfortunate because I was really looking forward to it. So I think I have a couple things in mind, but we may just hold off and I can let people know via social media or something, because I'm not sure what we're going to do. I have a couple things that we're planning, but there's a couple that if they actually come out on time that I'd like to do. So I know it's a little not clear, but yeah, so there's some cool stuff coming out in February I'm looking forward to. So we will just see what happens with this, and I'll let folks know. So we don't know what we're doing next week just yet, but we'll let you guys know as soon as we do know. And we actually don't have any voice messages, so we can wrap.
All right.
Yeah, we can wrap up.
See everyone next week.
But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to. I'm looking in February, and there's actually let's see, I think 4 movies that come out on the middle of February that I want to do. So I wish they would have spaced them out a little bit more. But yeah, there's some cool stuff coming out. So looking forward to what we're going to be doing in February. But as for next week, we're not sure yet. So, all right. Well, that is all of our film stuff. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to bring up before we start to wrap things up here?
You want to be choking anymore, MZ?
Yeah, you want to talk about choking the chicken?
No. I pretty
got
much
all that
said
off your
all I need
chest?
to say. Yeah. I mean, and out of my throat.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, look, it happens. Things like this happen. It's a freak thing, and it happens
Only to you.
It happens to a lot of people. Just
you and Mars.
Yeah. Yep. And a bunch of other people, I'm sure. But yeah. I mean, what the hell? It happens. I don't know what else to say. I said all I need to say about it. If I think of anything else, I'll let you know. Okay.
I doubt that. And we're still not going to be done picking on you, though.
Nah, I don't care. Believe me, I'd be more concerned if you guys didn't pick on me about
until
this.
we find something else to distract us.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna stay on this.
All right.
So
fine.
Until Raven Shadow does something else stupid.
Oh, which should be within the next.
Yeah. Got a minute?
Wait, what's he doing right now? Let's go look.
Well, then, damn, you guys should have been over me about 50 times over by now.
Well, it's not a question of whether he does something stupid. It's whether he does something stupid enough to make us forget that you choked on a cube of chicken.
You're making it sound like it never happens. It does happen.
It happens, but
people
it's just,
do choke.
Not on cubes of chicken.
Didn't a drummer choke on vomit? Was it John Bonham? Did he
that's
choke on
when
vomit?
they pass out. Were you passed out?
No.
Then you have no excuse. Quiet, here he comes. What? Hi. Johnny's talking some shit about you.
Yeah. He's not.
Yeah, he is. Look at the grin on his face.
Probably gas.
Probably gas.
Yeah.
What the hell? It was actually those guys talking shit.
No, I heard them. The fucking house ain't so fucking big.
Like I said before, you got thin walls.
It's not like one of those moderately sized houses in L.A.
Right. I ain't fucking.
Yeah, right.
I ain't fucking lawyer fucking money. I had to go downstairs. I didn't want to fucking, make some fucking noise.
Make some noise.
It's exciting.
So, anything else, Raven Shadow, before we wrap things up?
I don't know. Do you want to elongate? Do you want to keep going?
No.
Would you have anything?
Yeah, do
We're
you
not
have
gonna
anything? I'm not
ramble.
I'm not asking for you to just make shit up.
No.
All right.
Well,
I mean, I can ramble about my day today if you want. I showed up to work today. I made my coffee. Then I told you guys what to do, and then I got my truck. What, you want to do this? Like,
wow.
I want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, me too. I watched a movie on the Netflix.
This really wasn't an invitation. This really, it was more of you. We were hoping you would go. Yeah, let's end it and be done.
Fucking Bombaleo.
Well, you know what?
Fucking whatever.
You can't put the words hope and Raven Shadow in the same sentence. It just doesn't work.
Well, not anymore.
It's like oil and water. It just doesn't mix.
For those who get that reference. But fine. Okay, well, fine.
Do you have something like?
Well, I did, but now you fucking call me a motherfucker, and
I didn't call you a motherfucker.
Nobody called you a motherfucker.
No, but you set me up. You said you have something, and I said I do, but you don't have to. And
No,
I got confused.
because you went and I watched a movie.
I was gonna say something.
What?
What'd you watch?
Well,
you got 30 seconds to re-listen.
Triple Frontier on the Netflix. It's got fucking the Affleck, right? Ben Affleck, Charlie fucking Hunnam, TV's Jax. You got fucking Poe Dameron. Who's the motherfucker? Isaac Yankum.
Oscar. Oh my God, Oscar Isaac. Isaac
Sir
Yankum.
Sir Isaac. What's his name?
Oh my fucking God! I just said it.
We actually stayed on the air for this.
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, Sir Oscar Isaac, and
Jesus.
2 other motherfuckers. And that's a cool movie. I like that.
Why? I hate myself right now.
Well, and also too, just like
should.
the Forced and Sensitive podcast, Mary and I have been diving into the Clone Wars cartoon series with the animation.
What are you doing there?
What?
I don't know. You brought up you brought up a movie.
Yeah.
You said 4 actors that are in said movie.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Well, because no one was fucking buying what I was selling. No one gave me.
Because you didn't give us anything. You gave us 4 actors. I can ring out 4 actors if you want. What was the movie?
I'm glad you asked, Aries. You're interested. You would like it.
It was called Triple Frontier.
Triple Frontier, and basically,
Help him, Johnny, will you?
Poe Dameron is in the Brazil jungle. He's
in the Brazil jungle.
Yeah, the jungle and shit. And he brings the old team back together, like an old G.I. Joe ops unit. And they had to go in to basically steal some money from like a Pablo Escobar motherfucker. And they go in and things go askew. But it was really cool. And it's on the Netflix. And it's...
Is it really that cool, or is it just really the only movie you watched?
It's the only thing I watched. But no,
just because you watched doesn't mean you have to talk about it.
No,
it doesn't mean it's good.
It had Affleck looking all fucking jacked.
I don't care.
Fuck him.
His big fucking beard.
With his big beard.
I got a big beard.
You didn't mention Pedro Pascal. It's got the fucking Mandalorian, dude.
He doesn't know who that is because he's behind a mask through most of the show.
Was he in that too? Which one was he?
Not the one with the mask.
He's on the poster.
Is he part of the team? Was he the pilot?
I don't know. He had a mustache.
Yes, he was the fucking pilot. So you got fucking Poe. And here's the thing about that. To some of my Star Wars stuff, Oscar Isaac makes poor judgment not only in Star Wars films but also in Netflix originals as well. He kind of fucks things up.
I can understand.
So wait, it had the Mandalorian, it had Batman, it had Poe Dameron, and it had King Arthur.
Well, I said Jax Teller, but yeah. That's a fucking movie, right?
Did you see him as? Did you see Charlie Hunnam as King Arthur?
I didn't. I do want to see it, but I'm concerned about his haircut.
Why are you concerned about his haircut?
I thought about messaging T-Dogs. I think she would know. I don't feel that cut. It was too groomed to be in the Dark Ages.
It's a fucking movie, and I'm pretty sure Guy Ritchie did it, or someone like that.
Yeah, some guy named Richie did it, but I don't. Wait for it. That was on purpose. But I feel the cut was too. Like you would get that as super cuts. I don't think you would have it in the Dark Ages.
What does that matter?
Yeah,
is he not?
It was Guy Ritchie that did it.
Handsome enough for you?
No, he's definitely handsome enough for me. But
ruggedly handsome. Is the haircut ruin that for you?
I like Jax with long hair.
Too stylish.
Yeah, I don't think you would have that kind of.
Why not?
You didn't have fucking.
Look at every other
trimmers.
Look at every other knight in the old
Republic.
Wolfie, I swear to God, I'm gonna punch you in the face next time I see you.
Sorry, Corny. I tried. I wanted to keep it going. We can stop. We can stop.
We can't stop there now. Evil Corny says Raven Shadow going to put Aries and MZ out that house like George Jefferson style one night.
I don't think that would ever happen.
Well, you sell it. But no, check it out. Affleck was cool. A little sad in it.
Raven Shadow, who's your favorite AEW wrestler now?
Oh my God, who's my favorite? Hangman.
Hangman Page.
Hangman Page, yeah. He's awesome because I didn't like him because he had the obvious cowboy gimmick and stuff, but now that he's fucking, when he wins, he gets crowd surfed and he steals beer from the crowd and fucking gets his drink on. I like it.
He gets all lubed up.
Oh, he's no shitty barista.
Shitty Batista.
Shitty Batista.
All right, let's fucking wrap this shit up. All right, so next week we'll figure out what we're going to do, and I'll let you guys know on social media. But let's wrap it up. Say goodbye, MZ.
Arrivederci, douchebags.
Aries?
Goodbye.
Raven Shadow.
Live fast, love hard, die with your mask on.
All right. We appreciate you guys tuning in for episode 3. Oh, one last thing, actually, I wanted to say is our buddy Bill by Force and Mr. Chris over at Outside the Cinema just had their 12 fucking year anniversary on Outside the Cinema.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's insane. So big ups yourselves, Bill and Chris. And
yeah, congrats.
That's ridiculous. So happy anniversary. Happy 12th anniversary to Outside the Cinema. And those guys have been good friends of ours for a long time now, and I'm proud and happy to call them friends. So yeah, good on you guys. All right, so that is going to do it. So appreciate everyone tuning in for episode 392. Woo, we're getting close to 400, guys. Speaking of milestones.
The road to 400.
Road to 400. Yeah, you pointing? We should get a sign that says episode 400, and then just everyone point at it.
Oh, okay. Next week, Aries, make that. That's your job.
I don't make signs.
Johnny.
What? He doesn't make. He did make a sign, Aries. You did.
I
Make
made a sign.
Yeah.
A sign.
So
And it
set a
was
precedent.
never used again, so it wasn't a good sign.
Well, because you broke it.
I didn't break it.
You know what? Maybe one of our, I don't know if any of our artist friends are listening, and they may want to make a WrestleMania style Trick or Treat Radio 400 logo. All you gotta do is send a file, like a JPEG or whatever. It doesn't matter what, and any kind of file. We'll print it out and put it up in the studio. So if anyone is wanting to do that, feel free.
And if we pick your design, we will send you something.
Yeah.
Raven Shadow.
Eventually.
We'll send you Raven Shadow.
We'll put Raven Shadow on the sending, whatever.
Hey, guys.
We'll put them in a box and ship them directly to you.
Yeah, I'll come out like King, like Olenek and Under Siege. I'll be all like.
No, we'll have you packed like Richard Pryor in the toy.
Appropriate, sir.
All right. Well, that is going to do it. So, yeah, if anyone wants to do that, feel free. You can draw a Trick or Treat Radio 400 logo in the style of the WrestleMania logo. And if you do, send us our way, podcast@trickortreatradio.com. We'll see you next week.